Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wild Man Creations. If this is your first time joining me, my name is Jay. And for those of you that are returning, I appreciate your continued support. Tonight we're going to do a little comfort food. I've been wanting to do this for a little bit while. We're going to do some meatloaf. And there's no right or wrong way. And I'm going to go a little bit overboard. I'll put the recipe in the description box. But I'm going to give you some kind of shortcuts and tips that I used to do when I didn't have a lot of money, and ways of seasoning it. And you can do, there's no right or wrong way. The recipe's going to call for 1 pound of 90%. I've got 2 pounds of 7327. Again, you're going to hear me say this over and over and over. I think 7327 has more flavor than the 90 or the 8515. Anyway, it is what it is. I've got a cup of Italian breadcrumbs, a little more than a half a cup of onions. It's going to call for yellow onions. I didn't have a yellow onion. I used a white one. A tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Teaspoon of parsley flakes, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Oh, the garlic. I'll have to look. Give me a second. Half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Half a cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, and 1 egg well beaten. Yeah, we're going to beat the hell out of it right here. That's what's going to happen. And you know me, I don't follow the rules. I'm actually going to add a little bit of oregano. Not much, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. Again, I'm going to put a little bit of A1, maybe half a teaspoon. And last but not least, I'm going to throw just a little bit, again, maybe, I'm going to say a little more than a half a teaspoon of horseradish. And you don't have to do this, but kind of backing up before I get in here, the way I used to do it, because I didn't know any better, I would do my meat, my breadcrumbs. If I didn't have breadcrumbs, I would use saltine crackers. I've used oatmeal. Always have an egg, and meat, egg, and a binder, and then whatever spices you want. You can put. I've done it with if I didn't have any onion, I used Lipton onion soup mix. I put that in there. A couple of tablespoons of pecani sauce. The sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's meatloaf. But anyway, get your biscuit hooks in here and just mix it all up. Oh, I do have my oven preheating at 350, which it's already there. Want to make sure everything's all incorporated. Make sure you get your breadcrumbs all incorporated in there. And if you don't have regular breadcrumbs, you can use panko breadcrumbs. It doesn't matter. If you don't have milk, not a big deal. All right, that's looking pretty good to me. And the pan that I'm using is a 9.5 by 5 1/4. Let's see what it looks like. I should have had the heating up already. That's my pan, 9.5 by 5 1/4. That looks like it's going to be pretty close, man. Again, remember this is 7327, so there's going to be a lot of fat in here. And what I may do about halfway through is I may pull it out and drain some of that off. Okay, my topping, it calls for 4 ounces of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar, and a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. I'm not using ketchup. I'm going to use some tomato sauce because the ketchup already has a bunch of sugar and other stuff in it, and I don't want all that sweet stuff. So that's why I'm using the tomato sauce. And I don't even know if I'm going to use all that sugar. I might use 3/4 of it. And if you don't want to put this on there, don't put it on there. I've made it several times. When my kids were growing up, I never put the topping on there. They didn't know any better. It was just an extra step that I didn't have time to do because I got off work and we were crunched for time and I was trying to get dinner going, so anyway, pour that on there. Don't get me wrong, to me it's better with it. So anyway, we're going to put this in the oven, 350 degrees. It's already preheated. I'm going to leave it uncovered. Why didn't y'all tell me I made a mess? Uncovered for 55 minutes. At about 30 minutes, I'm going to pull it out, or at least look at it, and see how much it shrunk and how much fat is in there. And if it's shrunk enough and there's fat in there, I'm going to pull it out, pour the fat off, and stick it back in for the remainder of the time. So anyway, if you guys will stick around, we'll be back. Oh, I also forgot to mention, normally I do mashed potatoes. I asked Peanut what she wanted. She wanted macaroni and cheese, so we're going to do just box macaroni and cheese. You don't need to see me go through that. You guys know how to make that stuff. So anyway, sit tight. We'll be back. All right. Okay, I looked at it when it was about halfway done, and it didn't shrink up as much as I thought, but I'm still going to attempt to pour some of this grease off. There's quite a bit of it there. All right, now I'm going to let this sit for about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, let it rest. If you pull it out right now or you try to cut it right now, it's just going to turn into ground up hamburger. We need to let it rest. So if you guys will hang tight, we'll come back in about 10 minutes and we'll see what happens. I'm going to get it, at that point I'll get it out and set it down because it's too hot to move right now. I'm afraid it'll just crumble up into a billion pieces. So sit tight, we'll be right back. All right, so here we go. It's been resting about, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes. You know, that's probably it. It's still pretty hot, so hopefully it doesn't take a dump on me here. Pretty good. Yeah, it's still pretty hot. That's how it turned out. Looks pretty good. Again, it's one of those comfort foods. And also, you know, like I said, I used to just do meat, an egg, and then a binder, like either breadcrumbs or saltine crackers or oatmeal, and then I would just doctor it up with like pecani sauce, some Worcestershire sauce, some A1. I didn't get all this complex, and it always turned out fine. Cool thing about this is if you leave it in a loaf like this and refrigerate it, and you let it rest and kind of bind together, they make a heck of a sandwich the next day. So anyway, let me cut away for a minute. Let me go get Peanut, and then we'll try it. So sit tight. We'll be right back. Miss. Anyway, there it is. The macaroni and cheese with some hot sauce. Good to go, baby. Get a drink here. Okay, if you guys would do me a favor, hit that subscribe and like button. And if you want to see more of the videos, hit the notification bell, select all. And I really appreciate you guys spending your time with me. It means a lot to me, and we'll catch you on the next one. We'll see what's going on. We're in the middle of spring, so hopefully we'll have some grilling videos coming up pretty soon. Y'all be good to one another. Good night.